gone behind the kitchen door of restaurants and bars all around mid-Missouri, but what about the place where children eat every day of the week?
In a special report, ABC 17's Zara Barker takes us behind the kitchen door of Columbia's school cafeterias.
I dug through hundreds of inspection reports dating back 5 years for every school in Columbia. Here's what I found. Public schools had fewer violations than private schools.
Wash, rinse, sanitize, and there has to be a certain concentration to the sanitizer. It can't be too high or too low.
It's the one place you can't choose where your kids eat, the school cafeteria. I set out to find which cafeterias had the most problems with the Columbia-Boone County Health Department. Since 2014, Christian Fellowship School got 14 critical violations. That's the most of any school in Boone County. Violations included no soap at hand-washing sinks and food out of the correct temperature. On 2 separate inspections, Christian Fellowship racked up 4 critical violations each. I asked CFS what they do to make sure their cafeteria is clean, but they didn't return my request for an interview and only answered questions over email. Christian Fellowship contracts with a company called Fresh Ideas to provide their food. We contacted them as well, but didn't get a response.
I just think that it's important to keep them safe. I mean, this is our children. This is what we value most.
In the Columbia Public School District, Lang Middle School and Alpha Hart Lewis Elementary received 5 violations each. Problems include dented cans, an unlabeled spray bottle, lettuce without a date, and an employee drink not in the right area.
They have to make sure that they have their water buckets ready so that they can wipe surfaces. So all of our surfaces have to be washed, rinsed, and sanitized.
CPS's Nutrition Services Director, Lena Fulham, says the district corrects most violations on the spot.
She doesn't really ever have to do follow-ups.
And in the last 5 years, inspectors had to do 1 follow-up inspection at CPS. Assistant County Health Director Scott Clardy says every school gets a visit from the health department every semester to make sure they're following the food code.
It's the same inspection that we would do at any food facility. So they are under the requirements of the same food code that any restaurant in downtown Columbia are under. We use the exact same inspection form.
I dug into both CPS and CFS's policies on cafeteria cleanliness. CFS's principal's assistant, Kim Toma, told me they clean and disinfect daily, but the only inspections they do to make sure everything is up to code is once a semester from the health department.
Which one would you say is more strict, your code or the city?
Probably ours.
CPS takes matters into its own hands once a month. Its own nutrition department does inspections 4 times more than the health department in one semester.
I have a great office crew that goes around and makes sure that they review a checklist of sanitation standards with each of their kitchens about once a month. Unless there's an issue, then they go back more often.
The food comes from a kitchen that feeds hungry students and a place that fuels their brain. In the last 5 years, about 15% of schools inspected in Boone County got a critical violation.